Hey guys, so this is another video. I mentioned in my last one that I am keeping my 110-gallon fish tank. I was going to sell this, but decided to keep it just because I didn't get any real good offers on it or anything that was worth doing. So I decided, since I'm keeping it and I like to do things right, I stripped it all down, and I'm going to tape it up and reseal this tank. I'm going to build a stand for it and get two bulkheads and just plug it and bring this upstairs and put it where my 75-gallon is, where my African Cichlid's now. So they'll have a nice big view panel. I'm excited. But this is just one part of the video, and I'll show you my 180-gallon fish tank. It's still under a little construction. I didn't really have a lot in here just because this is the tank that had my stingray in it, and unfortunately it passed away. I don't know actually what it died from, but it had a little fungus on part of its fin where it had a tear, kind of like almost like a bite. But the only thing that would bite it would be this guy that's hiding underneath this piece of driftwood. It's about a 7-inch giraffe cat, and yes, I do have to scrub my tank a little bit on the bottom, but the 7-inch giraffe cat, I don't know if it's been an issue for other people with giraffe cats and stingrays. If that's not supposed to be a thing, then I would get rid of this giraffe cat so that way I can get another stingray. But I also gotta just watch this tank and make sure nothing else happens. No other fish have been like dying or anything, acting weird. Everybody's healthy. It was just kind of weird the stingray died. He didn't eat a ton in the leading up days. I did treat the tank with Paragard, but I used that in the past for another issue where he had actually bumped into some rock that I had in the tank and had a little bit of fungus on his eye. So I put some Paragard in there and that cleared up. Probably was just also the clean water. I did frequent water changes, especially when the stingray was in there, but now I don't really have to as much because I have a FX6 on this. I still do this probably once every 3 weeks, not as often. I used to do it every week, or even more than once a week sometimes. But I got these 3 Oscars in here, 2 albino and 1 black tiger Oscar. I had this albino Oscar with another black Oscar, and he jumped out of the tank like quite a while ago when I had a 90-gallon, and I just had him for a while. So I got another 2 babies and put them in together, figuring, you know, maybe one of these white ones would die. I'd still have a pair, but they're all doing good. And it's actually funny is this guy only has 1 eye. That's his good eye right there. He's looking. And I think when I was feeding one day, the other Oscar, the big one, had sucked his eyeball out, because it was fine when I put him in the tank. I fed, and then I noticed his eye was gone. So it was odd, but it's been months. It's healed up, so he's just a 1-eyed Oscar, which is kind of cool. But you know, he's doing good. It has a little black on the fins too. But I got parrotfish, $5 silver, and I used to have a Matoro stingray in here. He was about 7 inches and grew from 4 to 7 inches with me over a few months. And yeah, so that's why I had it all pretty much bare in here. But I'm gonna get to taping this up and getting some silicone, resealing it, building a stand, and then be on the tank switch arounds to get that all situated. Alright guys, so while I'm down here, I might as well show my 200-gallon. It is a little needs a little scrubbing down, but it's just been sitting, chilling, just because it is winter, so I'm letting it just go with whatever the ambient temperature is. So when it's cold, she's burrowed down in the sand and the rocks right over there where the fish are, and just chilling. But I got some shiners in there, and I got some threw some pebbles in because she's been moving around. Don't normally feed her too much when it's cold because she's just always down and snuggled up sleeping. But she packs on some weight before winter, kind of loses a little bit over winter, and definitely loves eating in the summer. But I don't know if I should keep her in this 200 gallon. I was kind of thinking, because this is 4x3 by I think 2 feet tall or so. This is kind of like a smaller pond versus putting her in this 6 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot tank. I don't know if I should switch her into that tank because she would like the length of swimming. I can do kind of a almost like a pallidium where you put like a mini tree in the corner and some vines and plants up top, and then a bunch of plants inside, and that way and some rocks and whatnot, so it's more like a habitat where it's longer. It's kind of cool for a turtle, where this might be better for a stingray to go into because of the width and length of it. But I don't really know if it would matter too much, because that should be good for a stingray for a little bit too. But if you have an opinion on if I should do that, switch over, because this would be pretty easy to switch over to the other tank and do up differently and clean this and then put all those fish into here with the filter and whatnot, all that jazz. But let me know what you think on that, and this is just a basic setup anyway. So fish come in. The snapping turtle is pretty cool though. I've had her for about 5 years. I got her as a hatchling online. I got like 3 of them, and one of them had died, got sucked to a filter, so I learned not to do filters, and they're too small. And then she ate the other one, or ate part of it, so that way she killed it, and she's a lone survivor now, and looks like she's coming up to get that maybe. It is cold, like I said, so in the winter just leave it at ambient temperature in there. I'll definitely show a better video on her in the future when I do some kind of tank setup with her, because this is just kind of basic. I did reseal this 200 gallon tank. I actually got this one for free. I was buying this one, and the guy had 2 of these 180s, and I went with a buddy so we could carry them out, and I bought one, he bought one, so we each got one of those. And then he had this, he was trying to sell it, I was trying to buy it, he told me he was holding it for someone, and then by the time I got home he texted me saying the guy didn't show up, and if I came back an hour away that I could have it for free. So turn around, picked it up, knowing that it leaked, had a small leak in this front corner, tested this thing out outside, filled up on this stand that I built, and it held up water for a while, so worked for me. A pretty free tank. I painted the tank black on the back and the side near the window, so that way light didn't just make a ton of algae. I painted the back of that black. But pretty good, pretty good. I'm gonna get to resealing. Alright, so this is another clip in the video. I ended up just going ahead and resealing it. I was gonna show it how to reseal it with the cotton, but I feel like that's so easy that anybody should be able to do that. But definitely just pulled off the tape when it was freshly laid down. Everything looks like it's healing up pretty good in all the corners. It's very thick in certain spots, so it does look a little bit messy. It's not my favorite. Like over here, kind of has some extra, but I'm gonna run a razor blade and just try to cut the little bits extra off. But as far as anything else, because I did touch it in a few places because the tape got stuck up underneath it, and then I had to reform it a little bit while it was still fresh on there, so it was good. But did that. I got 2 new bulkheads from Aquarium Co-op again, and just 2 1-inch plugs I glued in, as well as I built this 2x6 stand. Everything's pretty basic with that. And this is gonna be the new cichlid tank. I like all my stands are out of 2x6 and they're all 36 inches tall, so that way I'll have this one, the turtle tank, and my 125 that's upstairs are all 36 inches tall. So eventually I'd like to line them all up in a row or something like that, but at least all be the same height off the ground and I'll do the same kind of front fake wood type of thing. So this is just me one clip. The next one will probably be full of water, just to water test it. And I've already waited about 3 days now, so I was gonna wait till tomorrow to start throwing a little bit of water in it. And I'll have it filled up before I leave for vacation on Friday, and then when I come back I'll be able to make sure that it held. Like I'll test it beforehand, make sure it's pretty good. But if I like to leave it over, I'll be gone for 4 days, so come back, drain it down, bring it upstairs, put it in its spot, and be set with that. I'm gonna throw in another clip right now of a little bit of the tank moving around situation I've been doing to make room for this. So this is where the saltwater tank used to be. It was a 55 gallon. I have that downstairs to clean out, but I have to fill this up back up with water. It has only 2 small fish and a gourami, and I think it was a loach, and then 2 African claw frogs. And those guys, everybody's been good. So I got a bunch of stuff out for right now that was underneath where the 75 gallon was. So now the 110 is gonna go right here, and that'll be that. A little bit messy as I get through stuff, but piranha tank still doing good. Nobody getting eaten or anything. They eating good. This is where I have the African cichlids in a spare 55, just, and I picked this catfish that you normally don't get to see because he hides a little bit unless I'm feeding. And then I got some different sucker fish in there, some albino puggos. Then I got the 75 right here. So I have a good amount of coral in there. Still have to clean out this 35, but I got some other coral pieces to put in, or rock pieces I should say, that fell when I was at work, so moved all the sand over, so that's great. But the water's settling in. Now I gotta make more salt water and get this tank up and going, but I already like the look of it. It was a lot easier to escape than the 55 just because of the added 6 inches of width. You know, the 55s are only 12 inches and these are 18, so. But this is just wanted to show you everything we've been working on. I did this all in one day, so it was quite the process yesterday getting everything going. But I'm making more salt water for this right now.